ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. First of all, extremely sorry for delaying it for 15 minutes. We are reading from the book The Path of Perfection by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And we are in the 7th chapter. Arjuna Uvacha Yoyam Yogastvaya Proktaha Samyena Madhusudana Etasyaham na pashyami Chanchalatvat sthitam stiram. Arjuna said, O Madhusudana, the system of yoga which you have summarized appears impractical and unendurable to me, for the mind is restless and unsteady. The name of this chapter is Yoga for the Modern Age. And here Arjuna, 5000 years back, he submits to Krishna and says, this yoga system which you have summarized appears impractical and unendurable to me. Yoyam yogas tvaya prokta. The yoga system which you have summarized in front of me. Etasyaham na pashyami. I don't see that it is practical and endurable for me. For me, it appears impractical. Why impractical? Chanchalatvat stitim stiram. Because the mind is restless and unsteady. This is the crucial test of the eightfold Ashtanga Yoga system expounded herein by Lord Krishna. It has already been explained that one must sit in a certain way and concentrate the mind on the form of Vishnu seated within the heart. According to the Ashtanga Yoga system, first of all, one has to control the senses, follow all the rules and regulations, practice the sitting posture and the breathing process. Concentrate the mind on the form of Vishnu within the heart and then become absorbed in that form. There are 8 processes in this Ashtanga Yoga system, but here in Arjuna says quite frankly that this Ashtanga Yoga system is very difficult. Indeed, he says that it appears impractical and unendurable to me. Actually, the Ashtanga Yoga system is not impractical. For 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 were it to impractical, Lord Krishna would not have taken so much trouble to describe it. Right? If it was impractical, Krishna would have not taken so much time. The whole chapter, 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna speaks about the Ashtanga Yoga system. If that system was not practical, then why would Krishna even bother to speak about it for so long? So it is not impractical, but it appears impractical. What may be impractical for one man may be practical for another. Arjuna is representative of the common man in the sense that he is not a mendicant or a sannyasi or a scholar. He is on the battlefield fighting for his kingdom, and in this sense, he is an ordinary man engaged in a worldly activity. He is concerned with earning a livelihood, supporting his family, and so on. Arjuna has many problems, just as the common man and and generally this system of Ashtanga yoga is impractical for the ordinary common man. So here, why Arjuna is telling that it is impractical, it is unendurable, is because Arjuna is playing the role of a common man in front of Krishna. All the doubts what Arjuna is putting forth in front of Krishna are all the doubts which we have in our everyday life. That is why Bhagavad Gita is life coach, a book of how to live. So Arjuna, because he is not a mendicant, he is not a sannyasi, he is not a renunciant, he is not a scholar, pandit. So that is why he is playing the role of a common man. So that is why he says that it is not chanchalam hi mana Krishna. My mind is very chanchalam. Sthitim stiram. It doesn't stay in one place. It's very, very restless. That is why he says that it is impractical. Right? So, although Arjuna was a great warrior, it is practical for one who has already completely renounced everything and can sit in a secluded sacred place on the side of a hill or in a cave. But who can do this in this age? Although Arjuna was a great warrior, a member of a royal family, and a very advanced person, he proclaims this yoga system impractical. And what are we in comparison to Arjuna? If we attempt this system, failure is certain. Therefore, this system of mysticism described by Lord Krishna to Arjuna, beginning with the words Suchaudeshe and ending with Yogi Paramaha, is here rejected by Arjuna out of a feeling of inability. As stated before, it is not possible for an ordinary man to leave home and go to a secluded place in the mountains or jungles to practice yoga in this age of Kali. The present age is characterized by a bitter struggle for a life of short duration. Right? Very easy to understand this. Our life is short, but in that short life, a great struggle is going on. Struggle for existence, struggle for name, struggle for position, struggle for fame. Right? As Kali Yuga progresses, our lifespan gets shorter and shorter. As Kali Yuga progresses, our life gets shorter and shorter. Lifespan gets shorter and shorter. Our forefathers lived for 100 years or more, but now people are dying at the age of 60 or 70. Gradually, the lifespan will decrease even further. Memory, mercy, and other good qualities will also decrease in this age. It is already predicted in Srimad Bhagavad Purana by the great sages who knows the past, present, and the future, that as Kali Yuga progresses, lifespan will reduce to such an extent that a 20-year-old man will be the grand old man if he lives for 20 years. That will be the situation in future of Kali Yuga. If somebody lives for 20 years, he will be considered as grand old man. Because living 20 years also would become so difficult. Gradually, the lifespan will decrease even further. Memory, mercy, and other good, and all these good qualities also will reduce. In Kali Yuga, people are not serious about self-realization, even by simple, practical means. What to speak of this difficult yoga system, which regulates the mode of living, the matter of sitting, the manner of sitting, selection of place, and detachment of the mind from material engagements. As a practical man, Arjuna thought it was impossible to follow this system of yoga, even though he was favorably endowed in many ways. He was not prepared to become a pseudo yogi and practice some gymnastic feats. He was not a pretender but a soldier and a family man. Therefore, he frankly admitted that for him this system of yoga would be a waste of time. Arjuna belonged to the royal family and was highly elevated in terms of numerous qualities. He was a great warrior, he had great longevity, and above all, he was the most intimate friend of Lord Krishna. Right? What is not possible for a friend of Lord Krishna? Right? The Supreme Personality of Godhead. 5,000 years ago, when Arjuna was living, the lifespan was very long. At that time, people used to live up to 1,000 years. In the present age of Kali Yuga, the lifespan is limited to 100 years. In Dwapar Yuga, the lifespan was 1,000 years. In Treta Yuga, the lifespan was 10,000 years. And in Satya Yuga, the lifespan was 100,000 years. Thus, as the yugas degenerate, the lifespan decreases. Even though Arjuna was living at the time when one would live and practice meditation for 1,000 years, he still considered this system impossible. 5,000 years ago, Arjuna had much better facilities than we do now. Right? There was there were no electronic gadgets, there were no smartphones, no laptops, right? No the physical distractions as we have today. The facilities were the facilities for today, the facilities for sense gratification, facilities for getting distracted, facilities to go to hell, facilities to spoil our life to worst. These facilities are abundantly available. But 5,000 years back, Arjuna had much better facilities than we do have now. For what? For performing yoga. Yet he refused to accept this system of yoga. In fact, we do not find any record in history of his practicing it at any time. So even after Krishna spoke to him about the details of Ashtanga Yoga, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, everything, but post Mahabharata war, we don't have any records where Arjuna left everything and went to forest to perform Ashtanga Yoga, or he engaged himself in elaborate studying of the Vedas to become a scholar, right? To become a jnani. No, such records are not there. Therefore, this system must be considered generally impossible in this age of Kali. Of course, it may be possible for some very few rare men, but for the people in general, it is an impossible proposal. If this were so 5,000 years ago, what of the present day? Those who are imitating this yoga system in different so called schools and societies, although complacent, are certainly wasting their time. They are completely ignorant of the desired goal. Since this Ashtanga Yoga system is considered impossible, the Bhakti Yoga system is recommended for everyone. Without training or education, one can automatically participate in Bhakti Yoga. Even a small child can clap at Kirtan. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has proclaimed Bhakti Yoga the only system practical for this age. So, by all this, by the whole submission of Arjuna, that he is not able to perform this yoga system, and as explained by Srila Prabhupada, the different reasons why Arjuna is saying he is not able to, and because 5,000 years back itself, Arjuna, as a common man, he refused to accept this system of yoga, the Ashtanga Yoga system. How can a man today, whose lifespan is less, whose distractions are more, and all the facilities to go to hell, when he is surrounded by such facilities, how can he perform Ashtanga Yoga? Right? But that is the reason why Bhakti Yoga is recommended in Kali Yuga. Because Bhakti Yoga is the process which is easy which is simple and which does not require specific training that one has to undergo hard and fast rules, regulations. No, it is very simple. So without training also, one may participate in bhakti yoga, perform bhakti yoga. Just like a child, when kirtan is going on, it will naturally clap, right? Therefore, Lord Chaitanya has proclaimed bhakti yoga the only system practical in this age. Harer Nama, Harer Namayva Kevalam, Kalau Nasti Eva Gatiranyatha. In this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance is chanting the holy name of the Lord. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way. It's a very beautiful verse. All of you, whenever you meet someone who are stuck in a mesh of illusion, inside the net of illusion, between so many confusions, not able to find any solution, give them this as the solution. You can by heart this verse: Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Nama, three times. Right? Then Kevalam means only Harinam, only Harer Nama, the names of Lord Hari. Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Nama Eva Kevalam. Harer Nama Eva, certainly. Kevalam, only. Then Kalo means Kali Yuga. Nasti eva, nasti eva, nasti eva. Na is negation. The nasti eva is actually na plus asti plus eva. Nasti eva. Okay. Na asti does not exist. Na means not. Asti means exist. So nasti means does not exist. So in Kali Yuga, what does not exist? Three times it is said, it does not exist, it does not exist, it does not exist. What? Gatir anyatha. Other way, alternative way does not exist, does not exist, does not exist. The only way, existing way in Kali Yuga is Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Nama Eva Kevalam. The only way is Harinam. So you can also preach about this shloka. This comes in the Brahan Naradiya Purana. Right? You can by heart this and speak about this to the people, to the friends, relatives whom you meet, and tell them about the importance of chanting the holy names of Krishna, especially the Hare Krishna Mahamantra in Kali Yuga, because this is the only way according to the Shastras. Right? Chanting is very simple, and one will feel the results immediately. Pratyaksha avagamam dharmyam. So this process, the strongest process of bhakti yoga, the chanting the holy names of Krishna, especially the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, this is simple, but you will feel its results, you will see its results immediately. Pratyaksha avagamam dharmyam, Krishna says this in Bhagavad Gita, that bhakti yoga is such that it is practical and it is easily performed. Pratyaksha avagamam dharmyam means you can sakshat see, you can personally see the results. If we attempt to practice other yoga systems, we will remain in darkness. We will not know whether or not we are making progress. In Bhakti Yoga, one can understand, yes, now I am making progress. This is the only yoga system by which one can quickly attain self-realization and liberation in this life. One doesn't have to wait for another lifetime. So Bhakti Yoga is the only system of yoga wherein within one lifetime you can quickly attain self-realization and liberation. Chanchalam hi manah Krishna pramathi balabadhridam tasyaham nigraham manne vayuriva sudushkaram. This is another verse what um, Arjuna says to Krishna, expressing his inability to perform Ashtanga Yoga. For the mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, and very strong, O Krishna, and to subdue it, it seems to me more difficult than controlling the wind. See how powerful is the mind. Arjuna, the greatest warrior of his time, he says, greatest Dhanurdhara of his time, the person with the highest focus, that person says that his mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, very strong, and to control it is more difficult than to control the wind. Arjuna says, you tell me, Arjuna, you order me to control the flowing wind, I will control, but I cannot control my mind. By chanting Hare Krishna, one captures the mind immediately just by saying the name Krishna and hearing it. The mind is automatically fixed on Krishna. Just by saying Hare Krishna, the mind is already fixed on Krishna. This means that the yoga system is immediately attained. The entire yoga system aims at concentration on the form of Lord Vishnu. And Krishna is the original personality from whom all these Vishnu forms are expanded. Krishna is like the original candle from which all other candles are lit. Deeparchire vahi dashantaram abhyupetya. Deepayate vivrita hetu samana dharma. Yastadrge vahi cha Vishnu taya vibhati. Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Krishna is like the original candle. Deeparchire vahi. Krishna is like the original candle from which all other candles are lit. If one candle is lit, if one candle is lit, one can light any number of candles, and there is no doubt that each candle is as powerful as the original candle. Nonetheless, one has to recognize the original candle as the original. Similarly, from Krishna, millions of Vishnu forms expand, and each Vishnu form is as good as Krishna, but Krishna remains the original. Thus, one who concentrates his mind on Lord Krishna, Lord Sri Krishna, the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, immediately attains the perfection of yoga. The original personality of Godhead, Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Asamshayam Mahabaho. So, for the question of Arjuna that his mind is restless, he cannot control his mind, he can control the wind. For that, Krishna says, Sri Bhagavan Vacha Asamshayam Mahabaho. No doubt, O mighty armed Arjuna, Mano Durnigraham Chalam. Mind is restless, uncontrolled. Durnigraham is very difficult to Nigraham is to control. Durnigraham is very difficult to control. Abhyasena tu kaunteya. But Krishna says, gives the ways by which you can control, the means by which you can control the mind. Abhyasena tu kaunteya, by practice, abhyasa, and vairagyena tu grihyate, by detachment, vairagya. By practice and by detachment, the same mind which is restless, which is turbulent, can be controlled. The Blessed Lord said, O mighty armed son of Kunti, it is undoubtedly very difficult to curb the restless mind, but it is possible by constant practice and by detachment. Krishna does not say that it is not difficult. Rather, he admits that it is difficult but possible by means of constant practice. Constant practice means engaging ourselves in some activities that remind us of Krishna. So what abhyasa we have to do? Krishna says abhyasena to kaunteya. Prabhupada says here what abhyasa? Engaging ourselves in some activities that remind us of Krishna. In this Society for Krishna Consciousness, that is the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, ISKCON, we therefore have many activities: kirtans, temple activities, prasadam, publications, and so on. Everyone is engaged in some activity with Krishna at the center. Therefore, whether one is typing for Krishna, cooking for Krishna, chanting for Krishna, or distributing literature for Krishna, he is in the yoga system. And he is also in Krishna. We engage in activities just as in material life, but these activities are molded in such a way that they are directly connected with Krishna. Thus, Through every activity, Krishna consciousness is possible, and perfection in yoga follows automatically. असम्यतात्मना योगो दुष्प्राप इति मे मतः यस्यात्मना तु यतत यस्यात्मना तु यतत शक्यो अवाप्तुम उपयतः. For one whose mind is unbridled, self-realization is difficult. Asamyatatmana yogo. Mind is unbridled. Self-realization is difficult. Dushprapa. Difficult. Yasyatmana tu yatata. But he whose mind is controlled and who strives by right means is assured of success. Shakyo avaptum upayataha. So, for one whose mind is not controlled, self realization is difficult. And for one whose mind is controlled and he strives by right means, for him success is assured. That is my opinion. The Supreme Personality of Godhead declares that one who does not accept the proper treatment to detach the mind from material engagement can hardly achieve success in self realization. Trying to practice yoga while engaging the mind in material enjoyment is like trying to ignite a fire while pouring water on it. Similarly, yoga practice without mental control is a waste of time. I may sit down to meditate and focus my mind on Krishna, and that is very commendable. But there are many yoga societies that teach their students to concentrate on the void or on some color. That is, they do not recommend concentration on the form of Vishnu. Trying to concentrate the mind on the impersonal or the void is very difficult and troublesome. It is stated by Sri Krishna in the 12th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, which we will see in our next reading session. Thank you all for joining. Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you, Hare Krishna Prabhuji.